Hey everyone, welcome back to the Harley Quinn podcast on DC Studios podcast. I am Vanessa. I'm here with my fellow hosts, Mike and Keenan. We're covering episode 8, Family Feud, I believe it's called. How are you guys doing? Mike, I see the facial hair coming in. Real nice. How you doing?
Oh yeah, it's growing back in. I told everybody was so scared, like, oh no, yeah, it's all genetic works.
How are you, Keenan?
Listen, I feel like I was just introduced to the newest queer icon, Mama Quinn, and I am here for her. She was everything.
This episode was, before we get to this episode, we have one news thing. James Gunn confirmed that Starfire and most of the other animated series are considered Elseworlds and not in the main DCU universe, which ultimately doesn't really mean anything because My Adventures with Superman is an Elseworlds, but it also had its multiversal episodes where it connected with all the other animated series. So I don't know if it ultimately matters because Elseworlds do tend to, sometimes they end up crashing over to the main story anyway. I don't know if they'll ever make the jump to main, but we'll see. But yeah, that's so Starfire and I'm assuming My Adventures with Green Lantern and DC Superpowers and the other ones will not be. I feel like Blue Beetle probably will be in canon, but we'll see. Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
No, I said it made sense. I mean, Blue Beetle, well, whenever it was announced, that's obviously connected. Same thing with Creature Commandos. I didn't take it verbatim when he said that all animated stuff is Elseworlds because that's not true. Because he did Creature Commandos and everything, so he just mean the ones that we announced, everything. You had the logos and stuff. That's Elseworlds, and it makes sense. Adventures of Green Lantern and Starfire. It would make now. I mean, just to get bring more awareness to the character, but not in any way of saying this is you have to watch this before you watch that, and everything, and stuff. So, but I think it's perfectly fine. The fact that they did that makes sense because not to get confused anything, but still bringing good DC content, even though we don't have to connect everything. So,
agreed. Yeah, DC doesn't, or Marvel doesn't necessarily they do have a lot in canon connected to each other, but some other animated series like Spider-Man and the new Spider-Man series and X-Men all are, just kind of exist. So everything has to connect in one universe. They just have to be good, and that's kind of yeah. So I'm excited. Regardless, it doesn't really change my excitement for it. I'm still excited or whatever. We lost Keenan. Hopefully he'll be back soon. He's having some internet issues, but.
Well, I do. It's not necessarily DC news, but kind of theories or stuff going around because Aaron Pierre, he's shooting lanterns now, but the Oscars just happened. You kind of going viral again, not just for Mufasa, but also like the lady he's been with, Tiana Taylor. And I don't know if you saw the picture I posted on my story today, but immediately when I saw that, I saw the picture, I was like, man, it looks good, and I was just like, my head was just going and everything. And then in my head just went back to Justice League Unlimited with him, John Stewart, and Vixen, and I literally tagged the picture, say, hey James, please make this happen because Tiana, she's actually becoming a great actress and everything. She's does also dramatic roles too. So she had the chops, not the fact that she's just a popular figure. But I don't know. I'm not trying to say we can't get Black Panther and Storm, for whatever. I mean, at least we can get that, just give us something, you know what I mean? I'm not asking too much.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I saw people talking about that. It's okay. I personally have no issues with her playing Vixen, but I don't know if Vixen's even on their radar. I wish they would. I wish she would because she's one of the better DC superheroes, and exploring her relationship with John would be interesting. And that's a built-in thing. You already have John in the universe. In order to, I assume that they'll introduce some romance. Hey, Kanan's back. We'll introduce some romance. We're talking about Tiana Taylor and Aaron Pierre kind of we're like at the Oscars together, and Mike wants Tiana to play Vixen in the DCU because. And I was like, it would make sense if, you know, the Green Lantern or the Lantern show is successful and they'll introduce like a romance story. It would make sense. The two most likely candidates for his romance would be, well, three. There's three likely candidates. The least likely is Kamatui. The second least likely is Vixen. The most likely is probably Hawkgirl. You guys.
But it's not Shira though.
I know.
It's a younger one too, which
it wouldn't be sense. Kendra, it would be Shira, and I don't know if they'll do that anyway because that's confusing. So likely it'll be Vixen. I would love that, but I would also prefer to her be introduced not as a love interest, but in her own right as a character. But
of course,
just having her in this universe would be dope, and played by Tiana Taylor would be incredible because she's got. I haven't seen her act, so I would take your word for it that she's a good actor or she's whatever. But she is certainly moves really well. She's an excellent dancer. She looks the part. And yeah, I can see her moving like Vixen, like using her lion powers or whatever. But yeah. Okay. So I mean, I don't mind it. Anything else that you guys want to talk about DC related? News, rumors, series, otherwise?
I was going to ask before my internet decided to run away from me. The My Adventure shows will be in the same universe, right? I can't remember if they said.
So. Yes, yeah, they're same team and everything, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I was like, why is this? All right. Anyway, so now we can dive into this episode, which is another episode I wasn't a huge fan of. I'm never a big fan of, never a big fan of when they have Ivy and Harley fighting and split apart. And it was too much time away from Metropolis. I don't like Harley's family. The only plot forward was like us finding the Lex thing, and like then we see the actual bottling happen finally. Like, so there was some good progression in the episode, but overall, not my favorite episode. I was thinking about it, I was like, this might actually be my least favorite episode because at least the other episode, Harley and Ivy were together. What did you guys think overall of this episode? Keenan?
Again, I was just brought completely on board by Harley's mom. Maybe it's because I've been binging Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't know. But there was something about her that made me laugh, and I was here for it. But also, I made a note like, oh, here's another example of like parental relationships that we were talking about in the last episode. Yeah. A shitty one, but another example of it.
Mm-hmm. True. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, and just in terms of like the parental aspect of it, because now it's also like, as I guess, Ivy and Harley now moving into parentship, whatever, with this, new, Ivy, entity, whatever. I forgot what the girl's name. Frankette, yeah. With Frankette and everything, but there's also when that happens, I guess it's also revealing to terms of, hey, how's your parenting, where you came from, and everything, and so showing how twisted and all of us some of us have mommy issues, some of us have daddy issues, and just issues in general, and it kind of highlight that. Now, unfortunately, like I've seen this part of her storyline before. You already addressed it, I think, in season 1 or season 2. If I remember, but like we had a whole episode dedicated about her parents previously, and then it's like, oh, hey, my mom, no, she's not dead or something, and, and it just we already know that her dad's a horrible person, but it's like
that's all I can remember from that episode is that we don't like her dad.
Right. So. But then it's also a part like, do we even like, like, yeah, we like the mom's mannerisms too. I mean, yeah, we do, but at the same time, it's like in the height of the situation, like Ivy thought you were dead, it's like, to my knowledge, right? Was that, so just like,
yeah.
Fuck you too. Like, it's like, so yeah, both of them can go at this point. But yeah, no, I was not a fan of this episode.
I wrote in my notes, back to Gotham. They're not going to like this. In reference to y'all.
I know. It's crazy because the season started so strong in Metropolis, and I feel like they just didn't have enough. Maybe they didn't have enough approval or whatever, but they just didn't have enough story to fill in the middle. Like we're now in the the end game with the city actually being bottled, but that happened at the very end of this episode. So 9 and 10 will be focused on that. But it just feels like, God, it feels like there was so much fluff and not enough Metropolis in these episodes. And what's the point of going to another city if you're not going to spend all your time there and exploring the characters and the stuff? Like, why they didn't go to any other, outside of that fancy country club? They haven't gone to any restaurants outside of Ivy in the lab or whatever. They haven't explored her. It's just feels like they're just, I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of this, and I'm never a fan of Harley and Ivy being apart. But I get the point. Lena's evil plan worked, and that's what they were doing. And there are some parts of it that making me laugh was Gail. Gail was hilarious. The joke, it's just super funny, and I really enjoyed that. I did not as per usual, did not like seeing Bruce like that. I just don't like this Bruce. I don't like this Bruce at all. But I love Lena being this brainiac Lena version. It's interesting. And now we're actually seeing the root of her issues, her inferiority complex when it comes to her brother. So what do we think about Lena? And what were some of the parts of the episode that you did like, Mike?
Well, I mean, at least it's just Lena had a contingency plan this whole time. Just showing the intellect again, narcissist, and runs in the family. So just it just made sense that she would do that and have a backup plan if things didn't go her way. But I again I didn't understand. Again, you asked me what I liked about it. I like the bottling of the episode of the city. It just actual comic book stuff, here. That's important,
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, talking about did they got any they had, if they could have used any characters, I'm still thinking listen, out of all we're in the Superman era, and I get it, you have a lot of characters you can play with, from Superman to do I mean, we should see more Jimmy. We should see more, and then here, but hell, it's the show dedicated to women. Bring in Kara, Connor can wait. You know what I mean? It just or something or something. You know what I mean? It just and I just think that was a wasted opportunity. Whether it be on the nose for what's coming, in July, I'm well, yeah, it helps. I mean. But yeah, I feel I like the fact the bottling of the city and everything. But now knowing what's her end game of it, in in terms of obtaining power, or her being controlling the city and everything. But at least we know Frankette's okay for the most part. But yeah.
What do you think, Kate, about Lena?
I've been trying to come up with a name for Brainiac Lena, but all I got was Blina, and that's not cute.
Blina!
I think I have no thoughts. I really enjoy her just being wicked. I love a good villain. So I'm just keep being evil, girl. Just keep being evil. I love her rolling around with those things coming out of her head, and she has to announce everything. He's like, you don't, that was very fun.
Which reminds me of Paige, when she uses her powers.
Look at you coming with the charms.
But that's what it reminded me of. It was funny. It's funny the parallel between Harley's relationship with her dad and how that has really shaped who she is, and then Lena's relationship with her brother, and that's what shaped shaped who she is, and how how they've kind of responded to that. And I think that was interesting to kind of compare the two. I just really want to see. I'm excited to see Lex again, and interacting with Lena, and right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And seeing seeing what happens with the bottling of the city, because that is classic comic book stuff, and I was hoping that we would get to it earlier, but it's fine. I don't know. I'm kind of out of any other thoughts on this episode. I just didn't like it as such, and I have really nothing else to say about it.
I'm just ready to see Superman again, and I hope he's like a better Superman. We need some more, just a little bit more Superman before July, please.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, aside from that, I think everything was said was. I mean, this is I guess my second least favorite episode. I don't know if it's worse than the other one. I forgot which one was it. 4 or
Five,
was it
5, I think. It was
5?
5.
I think it was 5.
Yeah,
it was 5. No, 4 was the Brainiac episode. I like that one.
that was.
But no, yeah, 5. No, so yeah, but this episode, I was like, okay, let's just get through it. Oh, we gotta separate them so they can reunite again for the big bad threat. I was like, okay, we've been through 4 seasons of this. We went to the season 1 when you actually killed Ivy and then revived her. Then the finale, that's so no more separation.
Right.
All that stuff. Stop it.
Yes.
And we watched the show
it down to 1 episode.
Right, that's true. They did bring it all together, which is nice. Yeah. I'm curious, I mean, obviously I've seen the last 2 episodes, but I'm curious it's Harley's mom, how that'll affect their personal relationship, because I don't know if anyone's ever had a parent of their partner just living with them for a while. I haven't, but it does not sound like it's a fun thing. So I feel like this is going to turn into a sitcom for an episode while dealing with literally a bottled city. So yeah, I think I'm it'll be a better episode. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Well, I mean, to that point, I mean, once whatever they get Frankette out, I mean, it's also like, oh, the grandmother is spoiling the grandchild, but yet the grandmother, like the actual child of that grandmother is like, that relationship is rift. And I don't know how it is. Like it skips a generation or something like that. I mean, I've seen that so many too common, unfortunately, especially with moms and their mothers and granddaughters and stuff. Like it just I mean, you hope for the best. Obviously, family can heal trauma, but it is what it is. Thanksgiving's happened for a reason, so it's like yeah, but we'll see. That's probably how I guess they mend their relationship, her being an active grandmother to Frankette. So
I love that.
Yeah. All right.
That's some real world shit.
I know.
I'm sorry. See, I'm being too serious for this damn show. It doesn't deserve it doesn't deserve me trying to make
your deep thoughts.
I'm just getting all philosophical for you. But I'm just like, hey, I mean, when I see themes, I address them. But in other things, like I'm just trying to get, I'm just here so I'm just here so I don't get fined.
All right. Any last thoughts on this episode?
Just ready for more Superman
next week.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely ready for more Superman. And Lois, God.
And where's Lois?
No, this is not. They don't. And I'm like, Mike did a good point. Where is Jimmy? Jimmy was such an easy character to use just randomly, and there's so many of Superman's B catalog of rogues, like Livewire, Silver Banshee. Right? Yes. There's so many. We could have.
Keep going.
The Ace of Card Gang. No, that was Batman. It's a Batman villain, right?
Batman.
The Flora Flush Gang. Yeah, that's a Batman villain. Regardless, we have so many. We could.
I mean, this technically is a Batman show and Friends.
That's true. But I feel like we could have used more smaller characters like that, and not even heroes. We could have used little villains, but yeah, maybe they're saving them for the Kite Man show. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, we'll wrap this up here because I have no other thoughts. Visit multiversalcolors.com for all of our latest news and info about DC Studios TV shows. We'll be updating throughout the next, obviously through the summer of Superman, the year of Superman, whatever, CinemaCon's coming. So we'll be covering that. Follow us on all social media platforms. I'm not going to name them all because it takes forever. But before we go, where can our listeners find you, Mike?
You can find me on YouTube and on Instagram and socials at Jedi Mike 7. Brought to you by Solo Media. I have coverage for Daredevil. Daredevil's back and stuff, and saw the entirety of that show, and have my reviews and everything dropping on there. Also on Team JVS as well. But also I'll be writing for stuff for Royalty vs. Color soon this month for CinemaCon and everything. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I know, right? It's only 3 weeks.
Oh my god.
I'm ready for the free shit. Anyway, I need this break. It's
so
still
jealous.
Work, but I need a break from the reality.
I'm excited for all of your pictures and to hear your stories. I'll be here working a primary election.
It's a different kind of fun. What are you? Where can our listeners find you, Keenan?
You can find me on Blue Sky or Instagram at Geeks on Camera, and you can find the Rewind podcast there. We just dropped an episode where we talked about the 2013 series Hannibal, and we'll be dropping this Friday. We'll be dropping a retrospective on Michelle Trachtenberg, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Vanessa, where can they find you?
Thank you. You can find me at Vanessa Shark on Instagram, Blue Sky, at my website, vanessashark.com, reviews and things on multiverseofcolor.com. And yeah, I'm excited for CinemaCon. It'll be in 26 days, which is crazy. And yeah. So until next time, we're almost at the end, guys. We have what? 2 episodes left. This is crazy. Until next time. See you later. Bye.
Bye.